Hi, guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be talking about what I thought of that super good and oh so satisfying episode of our favorite spin off show, Fear the Walking Dead. Just got done watching the latest episode, and whew, was it a good one. Now, before I go on, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler filled review, so if you're not caught up on Fear the Walking Dead by this episode or the previous episode, which was also a doozy, you do not want to keep watching or listening because I am going to be discussing spoilers everywhere. So you have been warned. That being said, spoiler warning is issued. Let's get right into it. I have been waiting so long for somebody to kill Virginia. Oh, God, did I hate her. I have hated her since we first met her. You know, when was that? Halfway through season 4 or beginning of season 5? That's when it was. It was like halfway through season 5, I think. And oh God, was she such a great character to hate. Oh God, did I hate her. You know, I hated her as much as I hated Joffrey and I hated Ramsay and I hated the governor. So excellent job to the actress, by the way, Colby Minifie. She was fantastic. Best of luck to her. I do sincerely hope to see her in more seasons of the other hit show that she's starring in, The Boys. Also highly recommended if you haven't seen it. She plays a completely different character in that show. But God, was it satisfying to watch her die. Would have preferred something with a bit more suffering, a bit more violent, but I just wanted to see her die so badly. And I really did think for a while there Morgan was going to publicly execute her for the satisfaction and confirmation of all parties involved, which was great, by the way. I loved how all three respective groups finally converged on one point. I also loved about this episode is that they confirmed, because the promos and TV spots for this episode teased Victor betraying his friends and siding with Virginia and her Rangers. Thankfully, that was not the case, and Victor remained true to his friends. And I'm really happy that he's still on pretty good terms with almost everybody. Even though he's taken over the Rangers, I'm okay with that, because the Rangers at that point had turned their backs on Ginny because she was just a huge lying hypocrite, as Morgan pointed out. Oh God, was that satisfying. Morgan revealing the truth to everybody about Cam's death and Dakota killing him, to the Rangers and all of them lowering their guns and looking at Virginia like, what? What's he talking about, boss? God, that was just as satisfying to watch as June killing her. Also, I'm really loving the new rogue June that we're seeing. I'm sorry that it took John's death to turn her into this potential new badass, because I do love the black hat look, but I am glad that she was able to get some satisfaction out of killing the person that is indirectly responsible for her husband's death. You can't really kill Dakota. She's just a kid. But I wanted to see, between the two of them, I wanted to see Virginia die more than I wanted to see Dakota die. And how about that twist? I mean, it's not that plausible or far off. At a young age, she could have been a very young mother, so they could easily be mother-daughter if she had been young enough, and apparently she was. But I also don't buy the whole I did everything for her, this was all for you, to Dakota. She was a power-mad control freak. Had to control everything and everyone, and she did not need to be nearly as domineering, as power hungry and power mad as she was to keep her daughter slash sister safe. So BS, I called it that. So I'm glad that all three communities aren't at each other's throats anymore. Everybody just wanted the one person responsible dead for this, and that is Virginia. I do get Morgan's point, as much as I was upset about it, but as the episode carried on towards the very end in the final minutes, I thought, oh, maybe Virginia won't live till the end of this episode after all. And thankfully, she didn't. So thank you very much, June, for putting her out of our misery. So I am excited, though, because, we still got that weird doomsday group out there. So now the threat of Virginia has finally been eliminated. Her settlements remain intact, but her people weren't necessarily the problem. She was. So now the Rangers and Sherry's group and Morgan's group can all now be at least neighbors and cordial with one another, if not outright friends. But now they got this doomsday group to deal with, and I feel like they're going to take over the role of a main antagonist probably for the rest of the season, which I'm okay with, because God, did I hate Virginia, and I wanted to see her die so badly. I'm also delighted that they didn't leave us with any doubts or a cliffhanger, because I really thought they would cut away after it showed June shooting her with John's gun. Very fitting. But thankfully, they showed her with a huge bullet hole right in her head. I was like, yes, thank you. Outright confirmation. Thank you very much. Excellent episode. Significant improvement over last week's episode. Actually, last week's episode was also very good. Just so goddamn heartbreaking with John's death. But this really made up for it. As sad as last week's episode was, this one was like as far as opposite as you could get in terms of sadness from last week's episode. So thank you very much to everybody involved. This was great, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And it feels like almost the whole gang's back together except Sarah's brother Wendell and 3 kids. So we haven't seen them in a while, but hopefully they're all okay in a different settlement somewhere else. So what did you guys think of this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome rest of your night. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.